in a bid to promote peace, justice, and a lasting culture of respect for human rights. African Network Against Extrajudicial Killings and Enforced Disappearance, Aneked, brought together students, teachers, civil society organizations, and parent-teacher association members for a two-day forum. This event, held under the Human Rights Friendly Schools Initiative project, aimed to integrate human rights principles into everyday school life. The forum gained even greater significance in light of past Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission (TRRC) slogan, "Never Again." Organizers emphasize the importance of knowing one's rights and responsibilities as citizens in promoting peace, reconciliation, reparation, and justice for all.
We started a process last year where we engaged the schools, talked about the initiative and what the objective was, which is basically bringing the school community and doing an assessment of our environment, doing an assessment of our teaching and learning environment as a starting point really to move out into our communities and the country at large. Looking at human rights, every aspect of human rights in the schools community. And one of the things that was identified by the collective is really the low capacity of understanding and appreciation of human rights, the human rights principles and values in general. So this is something that was identified by the schools themselves. Aneked did not come up with the idea, so it was one of the, working of course with our partners from MOPSI and Amnesty International, identifying this as one of these key things that we really need to work on. Because really before you can really get something done right, you need to know what you're doing, what you're supposed to do.
Mandisa Masholugu, UNDP resident representative, hailed the initiative, explaining that it speaks not to the wounds of the past, but to the promise of the future.
The Reconciliation and Reparations Commission has courageously documented these abuses, giving voice to survivors and laying the foundation for national healing. But truth alone is not enough. Reconciliation demands action, justice demands education, and prevention demands transformation. I believe that is why we're here today with this fantastic program that you've all initiated. This engagement, supported by the United Nations Development Program and OHCHR through the Post-TRRC project, is intended as more than a training session. It signifies our collective resolve to promote awareness of past lessons, provide youth with information about dignity, equality, and justice, and support the integration of human rights principles within educational institutions, communities, and the broader national development context.
August Jata, head of the Skills Education Unit at MOPSI, highlighted the great importance MOPSI places on mitigating human rights violations in schools. To achieve this, Jata further explained concerted efforts are needed from all stakeholders: teachers, students, parents, and the community.
Basic and secondary education take issues of human rights, in its highest esteem. And that is why, going to the policy, you see that under the Life Skills Education Unit, actually bringing out the nitty-gritties in which human rights education should be promoted, in terms of children's rights, in terms of teachers, or in terms of, the way civic education should be introduced in the schools. And that is more reason why you can see in the new revised curriculum, civic education, because a core mandate for all schools, for all students. Sexual harassment, we brought in a guideline. In 2005, we developed a guideline. In 2008, it was reviewed. And in 2024, it is also reviewed again. All to make sure that issues of child abuse, exploitation, and harassment are actually abolished in the school and in the community.
Muhammad Haidara, president of the Amnesty International KM Group, stated that the Human Rights Friendly School Initiative project focuses on 4 key components.
That is one, that is the governance. Every school has a policy that determines how the school is to be run and what are to be taught in the schools. And the other component with this relationship or the collaboration He's talking about relationship between teachers and students, relationship between students and their principal, teachers and the principal itself, and also the school and whoever is present in the school community is part of this relationship. Another aspect that is the school curriculum, because it's very important for us to know what is to be learned and what is to be taught, and how students need to express themselves in these initiatives. And another aspect is the environment that embed everything. The environment needs to be so much accessible, not only to us that we feel like we are so privileged, but even people with disability also need to be considered. The school environment.
The two-day training brought together students from Daddy Job Comprehensive School, Charles Fowlis, and Rose Astu, along with parents, teachers, and civil society organizations. The participants are expected to map out possible solutions to address human rights abuses in schools. Khadija Jallo reporting.